I'm still at the end of the flu if I sound a little weird, but today Nate and I are talking about what used to be one of my favorite video game development studios, I should say, which is Obsidian. Obsidian actually worked on Fallout New Vegas, which is probably my favorite video game of all time. It's at least in the top 3. They kind of switch back between that, Dark Souls 1, a couple other things like nudge their way in there. Like
Sonic the Hedgehog, Xbox 360 edition.
I was going to say Final Fantasy 7, but then I was going to say the Sonic the Hedgehog, Rule 34 games I like to play.
Right.
But Obsidian is a company that actually mattered a lot to me just because everything they put out I was a fan of. And this is really sad news. This is about the art director of Avowed, the game from Obsidian. I have no opinion on Avowed, but the actions of this person should really be seen as unacceptable, which pretty much involve, in my opinion, racism, blatant, provoking of the audience and of other people online, and just kind of being a dick.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about the situation around Matt Hansen, the guy who wants crusty white dudes out of the games industry. Yeah. So we're going to take a look at that today because this is a representative of Obsidian that is just really sad. So I guess for my question of the day for you, who is the most insufferable person in the video game industry publicly? I would love to hear your opinion on that. There's a lot of options there. I would love to hear your opinion on that. And if it's not in the video game industry, maybe in the movie or music industry, who's just the most insufferable dipshit person you can think of.
Allegedly.
So this came up originally because he just kept trying to egg on Elon Musk online, which is very weird. I don't agree with Elon Musk on everything. There's plenty of things I think Elon Musk thinks that I don't think at all, and I don't care about at all. Now that said, Elon Musk was originally talking about, different things. So back in March, he said it should not be acceptable for any company in the gaming industry to be racist or sexist against white guys. To which essentially Matt Hansen said, "Oh, Elon, you sweet summer child," which, by the way, after talking about children and the way Matt Hansen looks, I'm kind of wondering if he needs a Chris Hansen visit.
Right.
But he said, "This will only embolden me, you sad sack of shit." So to me, it's already weird he's talking about children and bringing that up. But secondly, this is a guy who's done this several times, just egging on Elon Musk.
Well, I want to say one thing, too. What's controversial about Elon Musk? What he's saying. I'm talking what he's saying here specifically.
Okay, yeah. All right.
He just says we shouldn't be racist or sexist against white people. Oh wow, you're sad? This only emboldened me. It's what?
Yeah,
he's just saying let's not be racist or sexist.
This is also a public admission that you want to be racist.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Right. This will only make me more racist and sexist.
Which, as far as I know, no matter what the race is or the sex or anything, that's a protected class. You can't do that. When you use that to provoke violence or when you use that to affect hiring practices, now it's illegal. It's federally illegal. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So that's where this becomes an issue. Because he was getting mad at Elon Musk, where Elon said having pronouns in a fantasy game is unacceptable, which this is where I'm going to say I don't care. I don't care if you make Avowed or you're non-binary or something. My point is just that those characters, the whole point is, well, we want them in there to represent who I am, right?
Yeah.
That's always been the drive. So, I don't really connect with that character any more or less than any other character. I would play as maybe a dude, but usually I just pick to play as a hot girl in games because I like women.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Makes sense.
Or I just play as whoever they give me, and that's it. But for some people, this really deeply matters. And on the other hand, Elon Musk had said, having pronouns should be unacceptable. I don't really care.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter to me. But apparently it really made Matt Hansen angry that he said this. But Nate, do you want to read what Matt Hansen wrote on Blue Sky?
Yeah, he said sickos.jpg.
So which basically he's calling Grums, who Grums complains about everything that's woke.
Yeah.
Or progressive in any way, which is why I don't always agree with these people. And Elon Musk, both sickos.
Yeah, and then he follows up and says, I wanted so badly to make him mad with my game, and I cannot believe it actually happened. Just wait until you see the default, you sad little and then he says a word I can't say on YouTube.
Well, you could say shit.
Oh, I'm not going to.
I just don't say it often.
I'm not going to.
But...
because I'm a goody two-shoe.
That makes sense. You swear on the Let's Play channel
No,
sometimes.
no, I don't.
You're right. But also he's misspelled sad.
Yeah.
Because,
well, he is
spelling
also
is
sad.
an issue for him. But then what's really interesting about this is basically a while ago he also said this from Matt. Reminder to black artists out there who are looking for portfolio reviews or job advice. My DMs are open and you will always have my priority. We got too many crusty white dudes in this field. Please let me help you replace me one day. I want to go back to living in the woods. Now, this is something I really do want to talk about here for several reasons. First off, I don't care if you are black and get a job. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're white and get a job, that's a good thing. And what I would like is good people who work hard to have good jobs.
Yeah.
And this is in any field. What I would prefer, this is me, is skill-based hiring that hires the best person for the job who hopefully is a good person and treats their workers well.
Yeah.
That is what I would like. Now, if you're black and that's you, you get a round of applause from me and you should get that job. If you're white and that's you, you should get that job. If you're a Pacific Islander, you should get that job. Do you see what I'm getting at here?
Yeah, I see you gave a round of applause to one group of people, but not the others.
Sorry, I'm working for Matt.
Okay, got it.
As a joke here. No, but see, he's singling out a group.
Yeah, right.
And saying, hey, you should be here, not people like me. And this got so bad to the point where even Chris Avalone, who I probably mispronounce his name because I do it for everyone, one of the people who was behind some of the best narratives in gaming, like Knights of the Old Republic 2, Fallout New Vegas, like a lot of stuff like that I love, who used to work at Obsidian, even called this out on Twitter saying,
based on recent news, if you were rejected from an art position at Obsidian in the past few years, call a lawyer. Discrimination in hiring, especially for a Microsoft studio, can ensure you don't need to apply for a job ever again. And it shouldn't cost you a cent to initiate legal action. The lawyers will know what the case is worth, and they'll do the heavy lifting. This has nothing to do with my personal politics, but I believe strongly that hiring discrimination for any reason is not something the industry should tolerate. I hope you agree.
Yeah, this is... So, I want to know your thoughts on all this, Nate, because, first off, I would love if this guy wanted to go back to the woods.
Yeah.
But secondly, I think it's interesting that you even have guys like Chris, who I've talked to, who is actually a very good person. What sucks is he faced allegations years ago in the video game industry about sexual misconduct, and then the woman even retracted them.
Yeah.
So he faced these allegations, he proved his innocence, and then the woman retracted those allegations. And he's talked publicly about abusive relationships before. He's even talked to me about that publicly. Like, we interacted on Twitter, and he shared a story about this, and I talked to him about it. And I just think overall my experience with Chris is he's a good guy. He's a nice, kind guy who is very talented, and I've talked to him maybe twice ever. Not like in DMs or anything like that, but he's just a solid person who... That's the kind of person I would love to have a job.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of person who got ostracized as like a pariah, because of these allegations, because of culture like this. This culture that pushes otherism on you. Like, you're the other, you're the outcast, get out of here. And that's the kind of culture that I think Matt is honestly endorsing and pushing with his statements and the way that he conducts himself here. And we'll look at this in a minute, too, but there was even a anonymous former employee who talked to a YouTuber talking about Matt, describing working with him basically as pure evil. And now the reason I don't want to get into that yet is I can't verify who that was, because he said that if he gave his identity out, his career would be ruined. But the rest of these are like verifiable comments. There's screenshots, they've been sourced. Like, this guy just idiotically outed himself for being racist, and now could bring several lawsuits against Microsoft, who owns the studio, and against the studio itself.
This attitude from people that I have come to notice in the last few years has been very mind-boggling to me. This attitude of like, I hate all these white people in power, we need to get rid of them, we need to replace them. And it's kind of gotten to the point where it's like, it's gotten to the point where it's just straight up racism. Like, it is straight up discrimination and racism, where you have people like this saying, I will allegedly not hire white people just because they're white, because I want people of color in these positions to replace them. Like, if that's just how it ends up happening anyways, like, let's say, like...
Based off skill?
Yeah, like, let's say people of color apply for these jobs, and let's say they're good at the jobs, and they just end up in these positions anyways. Okay, fine. Like, whatever. But to, like, actively go out of your way to announce to the world that you are looking for people of color to get into these positions to replace all these white people, that's literally just straight up discrimination.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting here trying to explain or defend or say whatever is necessary to make you seem like the good guy. But in reality, you're just being straight up racist.
Right.
Like, imagine if the roles were flipped. Imagine if this Matt Hansen guy went on and said, man, we have too many people of color in these positions. Let's get some white people in here to replace these crusty old people of color.
Yeah.
Everyone would be angry about this.
Right.
Like, we would be straight up angry. And yet we live in a world where people like this can literally say these racist and discriminatory things, and yet the defense is always, oh, well, these white people have had power too much, or all these white people are racist, so it's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is that okay? Like, you are literally just straight up being racist, and now you are trying to justify it because you hate white people because of the color of their skin. And that to me is just stupid, that we live in a society where there are people who are actively trying to justify their racism.
That's my thing with Matt, is it seems like he's one of the people who does endorse this culture of, I hate this term because it's used now to describe any time someone's even nice, but like virtue signaling.
Yeah.
Like actual legitimate virtue signaling. Like, look at how good I am.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. Hey guys, am I an honorary people of color yet?
Right.
Like, can I like a black woman sleep with me now? Like, you know what I mean? Like he comes off to me like a fetishist.
Yeah.
Like a racial fetishist. You know, that's what it comes off to me as. Not as like normal integration of people. Where it's like, yeah, we got a friend group, we got, you know, there's two girls, one of our friends is trans, one of our friends is gay, one of our friends is a white man, two are black guys. Like, yeah, we're just all friends. Mm-hmm. It doesn't come off as that, like a natural assortment of people who find each other and are just kind to each other. To me, Matt's statements and Matt's vitriol, that's not what he's looking for in a studio.
No.
He's not looking for, let's hire that gay girl because, you know, she's great at this
nice,
job.
Yeah, good person.
She's a good person. She's great at her job. She knows what she's doing. Let's hire her.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hire that white guy because he's great at his job. He comes off as, hey, that white guy would probably be good at this job. Let's hire this black person instead. And it's like, well, okay, if the black person's going to be good at the job, great. But if you're actively singling out any group to exclude them, that's bad. That's racism or sexism or bigotry or whatever you want to call it. And when that enters the workforce and enters how you hire, that is a very bad thing. And some people have said, well, an art director doesn't control that. Yeah, they do. They do have direct control over some of the hiring practices in that art department.
Yeah.
Which is why Chris called that out and said, hey, you could have major lawsuits on your hands here.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different that someone higher up said this. And something you said about this, too, is if Matt is openly saying these things, what does that say about other people who are higher up at the company?
To me, that tells me that they're okay with this. Because otherwise, they would be having a conversation with this person.
Right.
Being like, yeah, let's not be saying these things.
Well, this is another thing, too, where like people write on Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever they want, MySpace 5, they'll write
my favorite Rumble.
All opinions are my own.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, sure, maybe they are, but you still represent the company.
Yeah.
If I'm like, all opinions are my own, but then I'm like, I want all of this group of people to die, like based on their race or something.
Yeah.
You can bet I'd probably get kicked off YouTube, right? Even if I'm saying it on Twitter.
Well, yeah, because
I'm
you're
a representative of, I'm on that platform.
And YouTube would be like, yeah, no.
Yeah, we don't want you here. You're gonna like make us look really bad. And what bothers me about positions like this is it seems like people like this are shielded.
Right.
It seems like they don't face repercussions for this kind of thing. But I know that if the shoe was on the other foot, they would. I absolutely know that this guy would lose his job within 2 weeks of investigation if he said, man, I am so tired of all of these Latino people working here. Let's get them out of here.
Right.
Like, and that was publicly found, he would lose his job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but because it's white people, we just justify it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's what's so sad to me about this. I feel like it's such a fall from grace for such a good company. And this former employee who talked about Matt Hansen basically said that the workplace was overrun by external influences, misguided priorities, and a toxic atmosphere that ultimately drove him out of working there, along with saying that I know how spiteful of a person Matt unfortunately is, and I know he... By the way, that's pretty much proven from how he acts with Musk.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, you can just see that publicly, that he is a spiteful person. Saying, and I know he and probably others will try to witch hunt me just to try and make my life hell because they aren't getting their way. And talking more about it, essentially saying, all of this stuff, like how... there were all of these political influences on the gaming atmosphere and on the industry. There were only a small handful of straight white males at the company, and that the company was basically priding itself on being gay and LGBTQ friendly, but then began to morph and push and adhere to a certain expected viewpoint. And if you do not ideologically align with these people, you are instantly an outcast, creating an even deeper echo chamber of like-minded thought. Basically, I think it's interesting that he or she or whoever this developer was, as long as we're assuming this is real, backed up all of these things from an internal perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, well, maybe that's all fake. But that's all stuff that you can see through Matt's words. Yeah,
right. It's not like online he's the nicest person of all time.
No, he's not Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of a dick. Yeah, openly.
It would look very different if he was the nicest, most accepting person of all time. And by the way, good on you for your company being LGBTQ friendly. Your company should be everything friendly.
Yeah.
Your company should be hiring the best people no matter who they are.
Right.
That's great. If you turn down a gay person for a job because they're gay, you're a moron. Yeah. If they're going to be good at the job, you're the one losing there, and you're a bigoted dick.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can have your own opinions. Hell, you can even, think, I don't agree with this person's lifestyle. I don't care either way. What I care about is once this gets into hiring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are a representative of this company. You are going to have a say over hiring positions in the art field. And the way that you spoke tells us basically that you are a bigot.
Yeah. That's why I think Chris was saying that, hey, if you, get some lawyers, basically, because you have some legit stuff here.
Yeah.
I don't really openly wish for failure of things and companies and stuff like that. But this is kind of one of those areas where I'm kind of like, I really hope someone actually does take a lawsuit to them.
Yeah.
And just kind of says like, hey, what's going on here?
It never should have been okay. And that's where I find this weird is people say like, well, your granddaddy made it okay for my granddaddy to be owned. Yeah? Then he was a dick too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't mean that we want that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're at the head of a company and you are trans and you're great at your job, congratulations.
Right.
And
cool.
You're good to your players or good to your, whatever, that's great. If you're the head of your company and you're a straight white guy and you're good to your people and you're good to the gamers or the people you're making movies for or whatever and you care, great. I don't like seeing any group of people not do well. Except maybe, people who are, like, illegal, like child predators or something.
Oh, I think
like
illegal immigrants.
No.
Where are we going with this?
No, I'm saying, like, child predators.
Okay, got it.
Like, like, if you're you're an axe murderer and you're good at your job, right. I prefer you're not there.
Yeah.
I just want good people who are good at their job to succeed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of the people we see in positions of power are either bad people that are good at their job, so they get to keep it no matter what, or they are bad people that are bad at their job. Like, it doesn't seem like very often that we get to see good people who are good at their job get celebrated.
Yeah, which is kind of sad. It seems like every video game company, except for maybe like From Software, I think they're like legitimately a great company still.
Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of other companies just have all these like allegedly idiots in power.
Right.
Where you just are constantly scratching your head going, why? How is this person in power? And I don't understand it. I don't really get that. I don't really get why we're living in a society where it seems like every company out there just has morons in power. You know, or people like this who are just like openly racist and sexist. That's just stupid.
That's idiotic.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not just saying that because I'm in that group. Like, I'm not ever going to apply to an art position at Obsidian. This doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm losing a job, so I'm going on YouTube to complain. I'm just saying that this is not how you should behave.
Yeah.
I find it really pathetic. Have you noticed that, by the way, just a real side thing, there's always like a look for these people.
Oh, yeah, I have noticed.
Again, to me, I'm not saying that he is this, but I'm saying that, like, if you told me that he played a role on To Catch a Predator in an episode, I wouldn't have been shocked.
Yeah,
Again,
he has those vibes.
It's that look.
Yeah.
It's that genuine, just NPC look.
Yeah.
Secondly, I find it interesting how it's always someone in a position of power who knows they won't lose their job who says, you should replace me.
Well, yeah, he even said that in his post where he said, like, well, I want to go live in the woods again. Okay, then go live in the woods.
Yeah, why don't you step down from your position and pick out a successor who is a black woman?
In fact, I'm pretty sure, you know, most of the world would get better if you step down from your position.
I mean, personally,
You know?
I wouldn't be satisfied unless Matt, as his successor, purposely, whether they're good at the job or not, picked a non-binary black person with dwarfism. I believe that's what it's. I believe that's what it's called.
Okay.
Who is transitioning.
Yeah.
I personally would not be happy unless they picked that person specifically for those qualities, not because they are good or bad at the job. I don't care about that.
Right.
I just find this whole thing pathetic.
Yeah.
I find it pathetic. I mean, jokes about Matt aside, like, we can joke that he looks like an idiot. He outed himself as basically giving lawsuit material to all of these different people.
Mm-hmm.
And he outed Obsidian and basically gave everyone, at the very least, the opinion and the viewpoint that Obsidian is racist and bigoted in their hiring.
He kind of just seems like a miserable guy all around. The thing that we kind of touched on at the very beginning that I kind of want to bring up again, what is with his obsession with Elon Musk?
I don't know.
You know, it's just, it's so, and I've noticed this a lot too with people like this in general. Now, you can like Elon Musk or not. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either.
Who cares what your opinion is on Elon Musk?
Well, I think we could both, on, at least one hand, name a bunch of things we disagree with Elon Musk on.
Yeah, sure.
Both of us.
It's like, whatever. Like, this is nothing to do with that, but it's like...
Free country.
Is your entire personality just hating on Elon Musk?
I can tell you what it is.
It's weird to me.
I can tell you exactly what it is. And I can tell you this from experience. So this is a character flaw of mine. Something that frustrates me is when I perceive myself to work very hard, and I see someone else who I perceive to be undeserving of what they have, and they have more than me.
So it's jealousy.
Yes.
So,
and I think this is something that a lot of people have, though. A lot of people struggle with jealousy, and they feel like, I work my ass off, this guy sucks, why is he doing better than me? And I think Elon Musk is at the forefront of that because he has said a lot of controversial things. He has held a lot of controversial opinions. I think that to people like Matt here, who think that they are God's gift to man, he looks at someone like Elon Musk as undeserving. Why is he a billionaire and I'm not? And so therefore, when he's this representative of this big platform, Matt wants to swing around his proverbial dick to measure against Elon by being like, well, I'm the art director here, and I have a say over your video games,
right.
And I do this and that. He literally said that he made this game to make Elon mad.
Well, and that's the part that's kind of weird to me.
You made a video game out of spite towards one guy?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
that's
why
weird.
You hate this guy so much that you've decided to center your entire video game around making Elon Musk angry.
And sabotage it.
Like, that's just so dumb. I can already tell you how this is going to go. This game's going to fail. And these people are going to be scratching their head being like, well, everyone just is bigoted and everyone's just racist. And it's like, no, you're a moron.
Yeah.
You have intentionally sabotaged your game by being like the biggest idiot of all time and centering your game around having Elon Musk sitting in his bedroom, literally like throwing a book across the room because you made Avowed. Like, that's your entire purpose of this game, is just to have Elon Musk be angry. That's not a good purpose.
No.
You know, and it kind of brings up to a point that we've made with a lot of things in our lives. A lot of times people have we've noticed in the video game world, a lot of times people have their agendas over quality of games.
Which, by the way, this sucks because there is a lot of political stuff, and I probably showed Fallout New Vegas for a lot of this video because that's the Obsidian game I've probably played the most. There is a ton of political undercurrents and politics and ideologies in Fallout New Vegas. It's done extremely well, but you know what was always the center point? Good story, good game, good world.
Yeah, right.
And then those things fit in there.
Exactly.
And that's exactly how you do it. Same with Metal Gear.
Yep.
Good story, good world, good characters.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? The whole thing is a circle jerk about how bad nuclear warfare is.
Yeah.
But you don't care because it's so good.
Yeah. And you recognize that. You understand the story. Yeah. Like, it's not like anyone's idiots playing the game. Like,
they're like, this about Sesame Street or something?
Right. Yeah.
It's like, no, they know.
We get it. Especially with Metal Gear Solid, it shoves, cutscenes in your face every 5 minutes of like, nuclear weapons are evil. Like, we understand the point of the story, and we're fine with it. Yeah. Why? Because it's good. But for something like this, these people don't understand that concept. They don't get it. It is so mind-boggling to them that you can also tell all your agendas that you want, but make the game good. And that's the part that just confuses me, is like, these people think, oh, we need to get these agendas out there. We need to tell all these, opinions and stuff. And I really hate Elon Musk and change the world. And I'm like, great. Tell your story. Like, that's fine. I don't care.
And stories can change the world for that matter.
But like, why is it so mind-boggling to like not prioritize the quality of your game over your personal agenda? You can have your personal agenda, but let's make a good game.
Right. I guess to me, it's just really sad that this is the point we're at. Especially with someone like Matt. Someone like Matt should be an extra on the set of Supernatural. Like, he looks to me like one of the guys who would be, like, possessed by a demon. Like an extra that Sam and Dean would kill in, like, episode 5. Randomly in a 2-minute sequence.
Right.
Not someone running the art position of this video game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just...
I guess I'm just tired of his crusty white ass. Oh, sorry, wait, I was just reading his dialogue.
Yeah, right.
The crusty white people stuff. Sorry about that. I thought it was okay we talked that way now.
Yeah, no, he's just...
He's a dick. He
comes
off as a dick.
He is. And he's just kind of overall upsetting.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I'm going to use his own words against him here. Step down from your position.
Yeah.
There we go.
Give someone else your position who's
Step
not
down
white,
from your position. Yeah, you're not going to because you don't want to give up your money.
Right. Exactly. And I don't know.
Yeah, he says what he wants. He says, well, I'd love to be replaced someday with a person of color. Fine. Then do it.
Yeah. I mean, I bet you have enough sway in your company unless you ruined it by being so brazenly ridiculous.
Yeah.
That you could say, hey, I would love if this person replaces me, they're the best for the job, and leave.
Right.
But you won't.
Yeah.
And if you do step down, it's probably going to be out of shame because you got just brutally destroyed online over this.
Right.
Not because you actually want to be a good person. I'm tired of people pretending they want to be a good person, but being a dick.
Yep.
I'm very sick of it.
I'm tired of that too.
Let us know what you think in the comments down below. I know it was a bit of a longer one, but like this one to me, it genuinely just feels like the fall of Obsidian. After they lost guys like Chris, and they still did good stuff. I mean, Outer Worlds, right? You like that game?
Yeah,
Nate?
it was a good game. Wasn't as good as Fallout, but it was a good game.
It's not liked it. Yeah, it's not that they don't make anything good. It's just like they really peaked back in the mid 2000s, and then or like early 2010s ish, and it just seems like since then they've been like overrun with like things that are destroying their company from the inside. Yeah. So let us know what you think. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content. There are ways to support our channel, including our Fortnite code DJAY123. We have other channels like a Let's Play channel, which is in the description down below. I have another channel, which is kind of my more main channel, Degenerate J, where I talk about just games and movies of all varieties. We also have a store, cosmobunny.shop, where you can use code DJAY123 for 10% off your first purchase. We sell coasters, keychains, trays, and more made from recycled paper. We take this paper, we prevent it from going into landfills by cutting it, turning it into transformative new art for your home, making something new that hopefully lives on with you. And we appreciate you. So we hope you have a great day. As always, everyone, stay shway.